journey that is sprinkled with excitement, wrapped in faith, laced with laughter and peppered with tears. In his previous life, Brother Jisho was a mechanical engineer, and nights were packed with naughty activities of entertaining with spirits and beer. In 1987, life took a 180 turn when out of the blues, Master appeared. From then on, Brother Jisho's experiences took on a different gear. A life of service, of giving, of contribution, and Brother Jisho knew he has steered his life in the right direction with gratitude and faith and not anxiety and fear. In Tzu Chi, instead of learning then doing, Masters got us to do, and in doing we learn. We gain in spirituality and wisdom that no amount of money can earn. Little wonder why volunteers come back to serve, and to Tzu Chi we constantly return. In 2005, Brother Jisho's life took another exciting development. To Indonesia, he moved for a new engagement. From there, he took on a bigger role, and the rewards have been amazing. Such is Tzu Chi's promise to volunteers, the spiritual awakening. Then Master DeHuang gave a little short reminder, if you will, about the importance of listening. Master DeHuang sends us a reminder to all about the Bodhisattva path. Beyond just a task, doing a task, we have to learn to be an empath. This means we seek first to understand before we can begin to assist. Only then we can uncover the root of the suffering. We need to resist, thinking we know what is best without being a detective. The message in the morning was not just to hear, but listen, listen, listen. That is a sure path of the Bodhisattva and to be a better person. That's all my sharing for this morning. Over to you, Sister Jing.
感恩 Sister Lily and Sister Tzu Chi for the wonderful session. Good morning, brothers and sisters.感恩 everyone for waking up so early and following up this session. We know even our St. Martin family is with us today. Warmest welcome.感恩brothers and sisters from Global for always following with us every Saturday. 2 Saturdays ago on 29 May, trust everyone are overwhelmed by sharing of Brother Jiren on his brief background and also on the prefabricated structures, even though it was only 30 minutes, but we were also touched. We know that Brother Jiren has extensive international relief experience, and often Brother is referred as the big brother, even by those who are very experienced in Tzu Chi. So he's truly our exemplary role model for this great, enduring, courageous, and selfless mission. Today, we are very grateful Brother Jiren is willing to benefit with us to share on his international relief experience. Without much ado, let us invite Brother Jiren to share. Over to you, Brother. We look forward.
Good morning to my honored masters from Jing and also all the brothers and sisters from our Tzu Chi world. Before I started the sharing today, I feel very glad and also feel very honored because you know, being a member of Tzu Chi is always a blessing, and having the opportunity and also can put my, I would say, nearly of my most precious time of my life in Tzu Chi's Bodhisattva is also a very blessing to my life, at least to this life. It's really a very blessing. Just now when I heard about Brother Jisho who was doing the sharing last week, I feel very happy and I feel very emotionally very touched because in fact we are good friends and we spend, I would say we spend our most precious you know, this young person at that time in, I would say in 19 not to say in in year 200 until he went to Indonesia, and I came to Taiwan almost at the same time, because we left Malaysia at around 2004 during the tsunami. He was a little bit earlier than me, but we all had the same feeling of we should, since we have the opportunity, we should go. We should go to the world. It's just like shown over here in this platform of love. You see, from master, Tzu Chi is spread all over the world, and this a picture just shown in 2019. I think now it should be about 105 nations. Because of master's great love, you know, the earth is not a big one for her. You see, so today we have more than I would say more than 600 institutions or branches and all around the world, because of master's great love. And I feel very honored and very have this opportunity, just like Buddha's told us now, being if we are a being, and we are human being is already a very, very precious things to us already. And if we are able to follow Buddha's teaching, and some more, we not just follow the Buddha's teaching, like the peaceful or the peaceful, how to speak English, peaceful means that he just observe the happenings around him or her, then he would get enlightenment in the era of no Buddhism or no Buddha, you see. But if we live in the in the time where we are able to, although we are not able to meet Buddha ourselves, but somehow we meet Master, you see. And this is already a very, very precious time. And some more in this earth, especially today, the pandemic is so serious. And because of Master's teaching, and because of Buddhism, and because of this precious Tzu Chi's Buddhist Sutra, we can what do you call, tame our mind and make ourselves still very steady, still can facing our life. Is really, really out from my heart. I feel very, very lucky and very fortunate and very, very blessing. Because of this pandemic, I have known about some very famous people, especially from Malaysia. They were so famous, they were so contributed to the society, and because of the pandemic, they left this earth. Of course, we feel very proud of what they have done to the society, to Malaysia. You know, all the while they have been contributing, they have been establishing a lot of university, doing a lot of good things to the society, right? And I really hope that they have been enlightened from what they have done, and even though for their life, this life, they have to leave this earth, but I as what we always expecting, they are coming back and join as a Buddhist Sattva, and even hopefully they can still born in Malaysia and become our Tzu Chi's member, right? So anyway, I think today I'm going to share this one because of this international relief, one of the very important Buddhist Sattva footprints in our Tzu Chi world, that I myself learned a lot, really, and it transformed my life practically, you know, not just only theoretically. So today I'm going to share with you again, based on the international relief. 2 weeks ago, I shared with you. Let's see this. Sorry. Yeah, I hope this is big enough. I'm sorry that this is in Chinese, but anyway, I just roughly try to share what I'm thinking of. Last 2 weeks, I share with you all the this emergency shelter that we developed from the time frame since started from this tsunami in 2004. This is the year. It's very important to me because I left Malaysia after the tsunami, and after that until today I hope that one day I can come back to Malaysia again. But of course, my mind is always there. From this tsunami, it triggered us because we're using a lot of these tents, and it was so hot and it's not suitable as a home shelter. So, and I share with you all that since that day onwards, there are so many disasters happen, those very big disasters, and we slowly, we from the Haiti, Pakistan, Zimbabwe, and so on, our shelter home developed, and eventually, in 2013, when the typhoon Yolanda, Hualien, we it's just something like what we have prepared becomes a reality, and we have 3,000 this shelter home shipped to Philippines, and it became very successful. And in year 2015, Malaysia, Nepal, our team, was so confident, and Master is also very confident on us, and we are able to do the sourcing of the materials locally, and we are able to provide shelter homes during the emergency. But today, I hope that I can share with you on this particular year in 2009. This is a very serious disaster happened again in Philippines. Philippines is a very, I won't say miserable, but this is a fact. Every year they have more than 20 typhoon, crossing the country. And in this 2009, the same, there was a very terrible typhoon happened in 2009. It's called Typhoon Kesana. This is the first time. Why I want to mention this particular one? This is the first time where, as for the Tzu Chi Foundation, we launched the what we call cash forward, or I would like to call it relief forward. Although cash forward is a more common terminology, used in Western world. Cash forward, this kind of idea is not. It is already started by the Western NGO when they were doing relief, especially like those famous NGO like World Vision and so on in the disaster area. In fact, I've been the first time I know about this one back to 2004 when I was in Indonesia. I saw there were many, not to say many, they were hired local people. Then in the disaster area, then they started to do the works over there, and then they will pay, so they need it cash forward, because the NGO do not have enough volunteer to do these things, so they have to hire local people, and then they're using the term cash forward, right? But to me, in Tzu Chi, we might doing that, from time to time, but to me, this cash forward playing a very, very important role in because it's really giving us a different perspective, which is really influencing the rest of our emergency relief, disaster relief. In 2009, this is the first time where we launched the this relief forward program in a very, very big scale. And this kind of scale is really broken our normal understanding on how we carry out this cash forward. Later I will share with you. And this, because of this, I will share with you the real example what we have done in this Philippines. Because I felt so fortunate that I was there, and this was the first time I was there, which is under very big pressure, because we have to be very successful in doing that to achieve our objective over there. Later I will share the details, right? But because of this Kashana this relief for work program in 2009, it enabled us to eventually, when we want to do this shelter home project in 2013 during this Hualien Fengzai. Because in Hualien Fengzai, we need to mobilize hundreds and thousands of people before we are able to clear the whole village, the whole city, even the whole township. And we have to mobilize the disaster victims themselves to build their home, to build their home, just like what they have done, like to clear their own residential area, which was hit by the typhoon. That kind of mechanism, that kind of confidence, and it's really learned. It's a lessons learned when the Philippines team, they break through their mindset, at that time in 2009. That's why when we started everything, when we want to do this Hualien Fengzai, Zhenzai, within a very short time, they have around 300, the cash relief work, they are able to mobilize 300,000 人次 times of these disaster victims to accomplish their project over here, And over this 2009, we were able to mobilize 80,000 of 以工代赈人次 to accomplish what we have done over there. So let me continue with this slide. But before I share the actual experience or examples of what I learned from there, let me share with you how the mechanism, although it's from my own, not to say from my own understanding, because as a Tzu Chi volunteer, Tzu Chi's relief team, we always upholding this kind of challenges and this kind of principles and masters teaching to us. And I put it into a photo slide, a picture like this. You see, what are the challenges when we are facing the such a big scale of disaster relief? Of course, everybody knows that immediately we have to supply relief goods to our victims, you see. But what we want and what we want to achieve, or what are the challenges waiting in front of us, is that besides the emergency relief, our ultimate goal is eventually we must have the local participation or the volunteerism that cultivated in the local society, and eventually these people living there can give back their time, their money, or even their life, to serve back to the local society, and it becomes sustainable. So we always have the what you call the mind in the end, that we want to have in a very simple words, is we want to have our branch established over there. Since the very first day, we are doing our emergency relief. And of course, how we must create the kind of harmony among our community, I mean the local community. So with this cycle of love, this is what when we started our emergency relief, this is the thing that are planted in our mind. And this is what Master expecting also. So whatever we are doing during this emergency relief, we must have this end in mind. Otherwise, we will feel I will say that we are not doing our work. You see? So whatever we are doing here, we're always thinking of how we are going to creating this harmony in the society. And eventually, we are able to move, or we have the local people, even those not affected by the disaster, can stand out and become our volunteers, can join us. Only with that, I will say I feel that my responsibility at least is I'm able to go back. You see, so this is the challenge. These are the challenges that we must have in our mind on the first day when we step onto the disaster area, because we must do this, because otherwise we feel, not to say guilty, but we feel that we do not we did not do our work, or we did not fulfill our responsibility that Master give to us. Or in a more practical thing is that we did not really help the local people, because without motivating or without inspiring them to become volunteer or to participate, then whatever we have done in this emergency needs, it won't last very long. You see, although we might say that, yeah, we have already implanted, right, these seeds in their mind, but we just planted the seeds. The seeds do not have enough sunshine, and do not have enough water, right? It cannot grow. It cannot grow up. So it's a little bit of it's not to say a waste. We will feel very, that's still, of course. Okay, let me come to continue our story, right? So how? So these are the challenges, but how we can provide, or we can channel the resources over there. You see, how we can channel the resources over there to make this realized. Of course, for doing this, we have to make our organization. How we are going to make our organization special? What are the things behind that making our organization special? That is very unique. In fact, Tzu Chi is a very, very unique organization. In the disaster relief among the community, since 2004, when I was in Aceh, I was so amused and feel, wow, the team from the West, especially those teams from the Western world, like especially the United Nations, since the very first day they were there, they have all the facilities. I was so feel very, very admired. You see, they have all the internet since the very first day they landed. They have all the land mover. They have all those things. And we, as a Tzu Chi's relief team, when we want to send what they call email, we got to go to their center, And then when we want to, we need to have those important transportation. We got to go and see how we can rent, and so on. You see. So, but somehow, I would say that because of this is the, I would say this is the what they call as an engine, the engine of our spirit, or our soul. You see, when we were in the disaster area, I would say that because of the master's teaching, and over here we say it as a release of principles. Master teachings, there are a lot. You see, how we can choose, how we can utilize those very, very important master's teaching. I would say these five is always, it becomes a part of our life when we are in front, we are upfront. The directness, the priority, the respect, the practicality, and the timeliness is how we are going to channel our resources, right? Because disaster area, there was so big, so much thing we had to do, so much thing we can do. It's just like, for example, myself, I want to walk on this Buddha Dharma path, but I can't do everything that Master wish, right? I cannot be a doctor at the same time. To be a teacher in our school, and at the same time I cannot be a successful businessman. You know, unless you want to do everything and ends up you become nothing. You see, for example, I was an engineer, but I found that engineering cannot fulfill my inner soul, the calling from my inner soul. So I quit my job. No choice. I cannot be a full-time engineer and at the same time I want to be a full-time participate in our Tzu Chi's Bodhisattva's path. So I got to give and take. There's no such thing as a wrong or a right, but to us, this relief principle is very, very important to us, because based on this principle, and of course, the most important thing that of course, this principle, I would say, you might say there are a lot of good NGO. They also have their own principles in doing things, yes. But with this Tzu Chi's humanitarian approaches, this is really, really very important. I would say this is a Tzu Chi's culture. In early days, we say our four mission, we call it the mission of culture. But and in the later part, we said it our humanitarian mission, humanities, right? But this humanitarian is different from other NGO. It's very unique. Not to say different, but the way we present the good deeds or the good teaching or our principle is very, really, very unique. And with this humanitarian approaches, which is like Master said, all our volunteers, all our full-time staff, we have been cultivating during our daily operations, right? That's why when and the disaster relief, we have these things together, we are able to like a 法轮 now, like a master say that 转这个法轮 we are able to move move the Buddha's teaching over here without telling people that, oh, we are Buddhists and you must this and that. We are not telling them directly, but in our mind we already have these things in our soul. So what we are doing out in this physical world, no, we can break through the religious barrier, the whatever cultural barrier, and so on. So you can see this Tzu Chi's humanitarian approaches is really very, very powerful. You see, it's just like it's not a very good compare. Just like the pandemic happened now, you know, it go through the air, you know, and it just penetrate into the society. But luckily we are the good. So that's why we say we hope that our Tzu Chi spirit can, you know, penetrate to this during this pandemic era, and then we can do something different. In fact, this I would say today we are doing Tzu Chi's International Relief 2.0. 1.0 is the disaster that we are able to visit or we are able to see is visible, right? For example, what I mentioned just now, all those disaster relief, all those disasters happen in Philippines, in Malaysia, whatever. It's something like a discrete, a definite or discrete things, a particular spot in this earth. Then everybody just move over there and doing our work. And then when we feel very tired, we go back to our own country. Then we can at least, I can have my enjoyment in my home. Oh, I have just come back from, not to say enjoyment, I feel relief. I just coming back from After 3 months in Nepal, and then I come back to Hualien, I feel, I can at least enjoy my home life, enjoy my beautiful scenery in Hualien, enjoy the kind of Dharma atmosphere in Jing, right? Has some battery recharge. Then after 2 weeks, I go back again to Nepal to continue my relief work. This is what I call international relief of 1.0, version 1. But without any, not to say without any syndrome, but with such a big change. Now we are pushed to this Tzu Chi International Relief 2.0. Since last year, February, March, the whole our Tzu Chi Foundation, we already moved to this international relief without seeing the disaster, what happened. But not to say without seeing, because we not know where it happened, but we have to go upfront, you know. We have to go upfront. We are not waiting. We can't wait until the disaster happened, then only we go over there. Of course, when the pandemic happened, until today, we have been doing a lot of, we have been spending more than what we had done, you know, in a single particular relief program before that. Like for example, in India, and today we are doing a lot of relief program in India. More than in India continent, including Bangladesh, including Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal. Of course, India is a major country. More than 60. But today we work together with more than we have done more than 60 programs over there, and just I feel very honored also because although I'm no longer in the international relief team, but I still have the chance to you know, now I'm working in Tzu Chi University, and we have one sister university, SRM, in India. They have a hospital also, right? So just only 2 days ago, we are managed, because we link our foundation to this SRM hospital, and with the collaboration between the Tzu Chi University, the SRM hospital, the SRM University itself, and also with our Tzu Chi Foundation, we are able to ship more than, I think, 160 over this oxygen concentrator. You know, we bought the oxygen concentrator because in India they are not enough. So we are able to ship the oxygen concentrator from foreign country to India, to directly to the hospital. And the Vice Chancellor and he himself, Dr. Ravi Kumar, he himself is also the chief for their medical college. He was very, very touched by us because we were so efficient. You see, our team was so efficient, and he just took a photo in late evening. I think India time is around 8 o'clock, and then he told me that thank you very much. The oxygen concentrator is already received, and we still a lot of things going there. But what I'm trying to say is that this is what we call the intentional relief 2.0. At the same time, we've got to do a lot of prevention, like what we are doing now. We are not just only doing physical relief. We also have to do our soul relief, you know, our heart relief. We have to be very, very harmony, you know, not just only the affected area. Talking about the relief principles, I just quickly go through it. Number one is the directness. To personally deliver supplies into the hands of those affected. This is the relief 1.0. Now the relief of this, in this relief 2.0, directly, not just only physically say that, oh, I myself, a children has to be there, but how we are going to, even though our team is not there like in India, but how we are able to identify, or we are able to already transform them to become our representative, like the Buddhist Dharma, you know, 牵手动，一人动时牵手动。 like the Bodhisattva, like Dr. Ravi Kumar. Even though I never meet him before, but before the goods has been there, move over, the ship over there, I already acquainted with him. I had to, take the initiative to call him, to know him, even before the program already launched by our headquarters in Taiwan. I have to talk with him through the Zoom. Last time 10 years ago, we never used Zoom so frequently, or use WhatsApp so frequently. It means that we have to transform him to become our member, right? So he can, on behalf of us, doing this relief. He is become our volunteer, but the principle of directness is still there. We have to deliver supply. Means that we have to make sure that all what we deliver over there is, fully really used onto the disaster victim, and not taken away by the third party and become their goods, and even sold by them. You see. So the second principle is priority, to focus it on the hardest hit areas and those with greatest need. I know that this one no need further explanation, because our resources, is very limited. We have to choose certain priority. And the third is the respect. This is very important principle, and this is what Master always emphasize. To respect the local cultural traditions, religions, and lifestyles, and also to distribute aid in a way that respect the survivor's dignity. I will share with you one of the very real example later on. And the fourth is the timeliness, to deliver the relief supplies in the shortest time possible in order to meet urgent needs. If, like for example, if the pandemic happened already now here in SRM hospital, if it took 6 months to ship the things over there, then I would say I just wonder if the hospital still exists or not. Of course, this is not my own saying. I just make a joke on this one. The fifth is practicality, to offer aid that is practical for the survivors. That's why most of the time we got to do a very quick survey, so that we can really emphasize that, right? Yes, this time what we are supposed to give. We cannot say every time we must give a home shelter to the disaster victims. Certain big disaster, the different way, how big scale it is all comes from the practicality principle. And this is one of the example I want to share with you. How to implement the principles of directness, respect, and timeliness at the same time. This is a photo happen. This is not a movie, but this is a real photo happen taken during the 2010, the Pakistan flood disaster. I won't say that I were there. If I were there in this photo, I don't think I can still survive and come back, right? This is the photo taken. You can see, in order to get the food supplies, you see, this is a hospital. Sorry, this is a helicopter, and the relief goods, because the helicopters did not landed properly onto the village. So you can see the villagers, because they were so hungry, and then they start to rival for the food, and you can see, you just to me, you just imagine, this is a village. It is an isolated village because of the flood. It become isolated, you see, and you can see this. It is a Muslim township. You can see this might be the father. This might be the what you call the ustash or whatever, the leader, and this might be the student, and this might be the uncle of this student, whatever. They are relatives, you see, and you can see during this such a terrible things happen. What I see over here is the morality, the respect, or the morality, or the what we call the 伦理, the morality, the relationship among them just diminished, just broken, 整个伦理都被破坏掉。 You just imagine that within that 3 months of flood, every time when the food arrived in the village, this thing happened again, and again. Do you think after 3 months later, these people over here, they will respect among each other? The culture, the morality, the what you call the relationship that sustain their daily life, just gone. 这是非常我是觉得哈，每一次正在为什么上人要我们我都很激动，每次想到这一点，为什么要我们要这么辛苦哈？我们每次我们花很多时间去造册，每一次我们都要很多的志工哈。为什么我们很多外国的志工一定要进来？因为我们要让灾民们看到我们实际的蓝天白云。因为蓝天白云呢，每一次我看到蓝天白云，我都会很感动、很激动，因为我们前线的人也好，我们很辛苦。但是每一次蓝天白云哈，我们的只要我们有10个、20个甚至很大的灾难发生，我们有90个人，我们就能够让我们的灾民感觉到很安心。You can see this is a big photo that the Zoom just how I showed. Every time when the United Nations, when the army over there, when they start to do their relief, because of the lack, you can have thousands of reasons. You can't do a proper distribution. You got to throw the food. You got to, treat people like animals. I would say it's just like if you go to the safari in Africa, you can see in YouTube nowadays in the YouTube. You go to Congo, you enjoy, you see those Western visitors when they go to the safari in the Congo, they like to take photos. What kind of photos? You can see the lion and the hyena, rushing for the foods. You see? So you can see if you treat people like, I just give you food because it's an emergency relief. You see, I have no time. I have so many places to go. You see, don't blame me. I'm already very good. I also dangerous my life, and I throw the food to you. You go and distribute yourself. You go and do it yourself. But they are helpless. Sometimes they want to rival for the food. It's not for themselves, for their very old, very miserable mother waiting at home. You see, but because of that, they cannot. They become animals. You see, they're rushing for the food like that. And this is the same Operation Relief, what we are doing in Pakistan, We spend 2 weeks of time before we start to do this distribution. You can see within these 2 weeks, we got to figure out, we got to find a place which is safe, and we got to have connection with the army, with the Pakistan army, with the Pakistan police force, how they can support us in the operation, and how even our big brother has to sing songs. You see, he is our key man in logistics, and he got to sing the song of Pu Tian San Wu. You see, during this before we started this distribution, how we can harmonize the whole the atmosphere. You see, in front of the just now the people, how we can stand so harmony, how we can invite. This is Brother Joe, because his Brother Joe is very, you are very acquainted with Brother Joe. I want to show this photo particularly. You can see he was so young and so handsome. I think he just came back to Jing for 1 year. I still remember he came back after the Haiti disaster relief. At that time, I saw him on the screen. He was in Haiti, and he was introduced, and he was told that we were told that he's coming back to Jing after the Haiti disaster relief, and he make his word, and he come back and he joined us. I would say this is the very first time he joined us in our Taiwan team, and he was so happy. You can see this is totally different. He himself, lead this old victims. He's wearing such a uniformly, and this is a young people. You see, we can see the smiling faces, the release, and there's a smiling face of Brother Joe. You see, to this area. Why? How? Because everybody having the a coupon, and they were welcome, like attending their very their ceremony, and you can see, everybody having their master's letter, master's words with them, and the coupon, and even we invite the religious leader to lead us in the prayer. Okay, so these are the things that we are doing there, and it's totally different. And this is another thing on how to make into account the practicality. Her painful memory still not receded after 1 year. This was the disaster happened in Myanmar back to 2008. This photo, I always remember this one because this is a video shown by our Thai TV, a reporter. After 1 year of the Nagit cyclone, and after 1 year, the reporter visited back to a disaster area. This disaster area actually is also a village, but it's very near to the seaside. Okay, and because they don't want to leave their village, and all the what you call the paddy field was flooded by the sea, so the paddy field cannot do any cultivation. It's so dangerous. If our heart cannot do further cultivation of our Dharma cultivation, it's very terrible. It's just like the paddy field. It cannot do further cultivation. So after 1 year, when our reporter visited to the village, after 1 year they still survive, because you know why? Because the UN, the government, and also some NGO, they constantly supply food, providing food to them. You see, so every 2 weeks they just come to the distribution center. Then they just got their rice and they go back. But this mother, after 1 year later, when the reporter interviewed her, dear sister, what is your current things and so on? So she just said, yeah, we have enough food, we can still survive after 1 year and so on, because our village was seriously damaged. But not just after 1 minute, 2 minutes of interview, the mother started crying. The mother said, my country, I'm sorry, my family, I lost my 5 children in this cyclone Nagit. Her grief still appear just like yesterday, just like what happened yesterday. You see, her painful memory is still there. It means that within this 1 year, even though she was helped by the NGO and so on, but the help or the relief given to her is just only able to sustain her physical body. Her heart, her mind, or even her soul was not relieved. So I would say this relief operation is not, it's just maintaining her life. It's just like a palliative, not palliative care, like a last stage cancer patient. The body is already not useful, but the ICU just maintain his or her life only. Of course, I wouldn't say it's not useful. I wouldn't say, but I just make this comparison. What I'm trying to say is that, of course, today I don't know where is she now, but I want to say is that after 1 year, it means that within this 1 year, her pain is still not being cured. But in the other hand, the reporter also reporting a story of our farmer that our Tzu Chi is helping. We are not providing them food within this 1 year, but we're providing them seeds, the paddy seeds, because we know that the most practical thing we want to give to the disaster victims in Myanmar is the paddy seeds. Even because of time, I want to quickly go through this. This is the disaster happened in Myanmar. This is a very unreasonable typhoon, you see. The path of the cyclone, because Myanmar has been not hit by typhoon for more than, I would say more than, in their memory, I would say it might be more than 50 or 60 years. All the cyclones always go to Bangladesh every year during the summer season. But very unbelievable that this cyclone just take 360, nearly 360, not 360. Yeah, it's 360. Go this way and go this way. 180 degree of turn and hitting Myanmar. And some more is not hitting the mountain area. It go through this Irrawaddy Delta and go through all the paddy field in this Irrawaddy Delta and killing. This, in fact, this cyclone is not very big compared to the typhoon that what in Taiwan, you see. But it caused a very terrible flood, and until 130,000 of people living in this Irrawaddy Delta lost their life, and more than 1 million people lost their home. But I don't want to show these photos nowadays. But this is a photo taken by myself, because when we go over there, we see where is the disaster area. Where is the disaster area? Because you know why? Because we can't even reach the village ourselves, because the transportation, our vehicle can only stop over here. And we will see that the disaster people, they were victims, they have to walk along the paddy field path to their village. And since the very first day, we will already know that they will face the food, this what you call the 危机, the 危机, how to say in English, 危机, right? The kind of a threat in the end of the year, because they can only plant during the summer time of April. So I would say, when we are start very worried and how we are going to distribute our rice, this rice for the emergency relief, Master had already told us that while your team is sourcing for the rice, sourcing for the emergency food relief operations, you have to at the same time start to do the sourcing of the seeds, because all the seeds were damaged, flooded, in this Irrawaddy Delta. How are you going to get your seeds from other places in Myanmar, or even from the southern China? In fact, we got our seeds from the seeds were from the southern part of China, Yunnan. You see, Master already asking us to do these things. You see, and even Master say, no matter how how big the family they have their land, or whether he's rich or poor, you might say, do a survey, you say, oh, this is a landlord, no, he has 8 acres of land, and so on. No matter how big, how large the paddy field he owned, don't think that, oh yeah, he's rich, then we shouldn't give him the paddy seeds. Or he's poor, then we should give him more. No. Let's say, for example, I myself, children, we have 10 acres of land. So give him 10 acres of seeds and also the fertilizer. Our purpose is to make sure that he wanted to do the cultivation. 上人说只要是愿意耕种的人呢，都要给他足够的稻种跟肥料，让每一亩田都不会被荒芜。This is the most important thing， 让每一亩田都不会被荒芜，而不是说好像我们平时做济贫啊，他比较有钱，我给他少一点啊，他家庭环境比较好，我给他少一点，他有能力的啊，他比较穷，给他多一点。No, at that time the practicality is we must not let every single land after the water recede, all the farmers, immaterial whether he's rich or not, we have to inspire them to plant。不管有钱人没有钱人，我们都要他种田，不然的话，1年过后这个灾难会更惨。This is what we call the practicality. This is how the wisdom of our master, she's always giving us the right instruction. We just follow. That's why we, even though our team over there is busy arranging the emergency relief, free clinic, because we have total, I think subsequently we have eight medical team from Malaysia, from Taiwan, from Singapore, from Thailand, and so on. We have doctors, team, every week, we have one team coming to the Myanmar to do the disaster, the emergency clinic, the medical relief. But at the same time, we as the relief team, we have to do the resourcing of how this thing can be channeled eventually after 2 months later. Not to say 2 months later. In fact, we start to distribute the seeds after water already succeed. After we are able to walk to the village, or even using the small boats. Because in Myanmar you do not have routes. You have boats. You have to travel along those canal. It's not a big canal like Suez, It's just for the small motorboat, I will show this. This is a very proud photo of myself. Wow, it's already 7:40. Sorry, when I talk about this disaster relief, I always talking, and then I forgot myself already. Anyway, I still want to share this photo. This is a very, it's a milestone because we have been there for 1 month. Even the junta, you see, at that time, 2008, the military government wouldn't allow us. For the first 2 weeks, when I was there, for the first 2 weeks, with our team from Malaysia, from Taiwan, the government not allow us to do the distribution, and we always do the distribution very difficult. But after 2 weeks later, after they send their spies, observing us what we are doing over there, we are not distributing bad news or distributing bad or evil thoughts among the victims, then they allow us to do this openly. We are able to put our first Tzu Chi flags, and you can see all the police. You see all their CIA, yeah. They always see. The first day I still remember when we walked to the disaster area, they say, "Gentlemen, can you show me your passport first?" Since the very first day when we were in the hotel, we already followed by them. But we want them to follow us. We want all the secret police to follow us because why? Because we want to influence them. This is the beauty of Tzu Chi volunteers. We always feel very proud, no matter, as long as you are human. We want to communicate with you. So these are the way we are doing, how we show the respect, and eventually how you can see the farmer. These were the seeds he kept for him for the summer during their cultivation time. But because of the flood, all the seeds were gone because it was flooded, already spoiled already. And these are the seeds that we give to them. And you can see high yielding rice seeds and so on. And you can see how we give to the 7,000 farmers. 7,000 farmers, because we want them to able to do their planting in early September, after their monsoon season ended in August, something like that. And then in early September, they can do their hopefully it's already the late, and some they even do it in October, so that they can harvest in late of that year. They can overcome. So because they have to eat a lot of rice, so we have to distribute to 7,000 families with more than 31,000 acres of farmland. And this is the what do you call the farmer after 1 year, and the reporter also interviewed him. Oh, I have to stop now. It's already 1 hour. Anyway, let me ended my sharing today for this thing first. Sorry for that. It's already 1 hour. This photo is very is a very important what do you call 见证 is 见证 how to say in English. 见证 is something like a witness. Yeah, it's a very important witness. 六根道会见证大 because this 六根道会 is still with me at my home. You know, it always remind me. 这个六根道会 is 这个农夫 after 1 year when the reporter visiting him, he said, I want you to bring back this 这六根的道会 is representing the 6 paramita. 六度. Please bring this 道会 back to Hualien to show master. 不是因为他骄傲，不是因为你看我好厉害哦，我的田，你看我的田1年以前怎样？你看1年以后，我现在第2季了，在收成了Not to say that I'm very proud. You see, show to your master. You see, I can plant my field very successfully. No, it's just to let mother to let master feel release. You see, 我们已经可以自己站起来。哇，这是很我们每一个帮助灾民的人这就是我们的心愿他们可以站起来了，而且这是有证明的他们已经站起来了。So this 1 year, after this 1 year, this grandpa, he's so proud. 他不止asking us to bring it back to Hualien to show master that you see this is the paddy seeds. Proving that I'm already, no longer a victim. I'm just coming back, just return back to my daily life. But some more. I can help others. I can also, after the harvest, I can still distribute some of the seeds to other families. They are poorer than me, or other villages. They were not helped by our Tzu Chi because of the limited time, limited resources, and so on. 有一些村庄因为比较远，还是不是在我们的范围的，没有受到帮忙的，他可以把这个种子也给他们，这是他要我们传达给我们的上人的一个 message. Yeah, let me show you the video. I have a 2 minutes of video clips, and let me show you, and then so that I'm sorry again. I'm sorry that I can't finish my sharing. I'm sorry. But anyway, I just show you this.
这是住在哥打巴拿马村的旦昌伯，他用身教告诉我们的。中国人过年来拜访亲友，一定会带伴手礼，而在缅甸，我们也带了象征缅甸的新年花。还有一篇旦昌伯的报道来拜访旦昌伯。这个是哪一个？是那一个吗？是那一个。慈济期刊报道的旦昌伯在村里名望高，借钱回报慈济恩情的消息更是人人皆知。等我吗？这天他到佛寺静坐，我们还未打扰到他而感到抱歉，但他却是满心欢喜接受我们送来的新年花，虔诚供活。我们带来的报道，他更是一看再看。旦昌伯不懂中文，但却能够看得懂慈济人对他的爱。这篇报道他要贴在正门口，让来访的朋友一进门就能看见。报恩的心还在延续，旦昌伯打开谷仓，10篓米全是留下来要助人。除此之外，还欢迎村民来换种子，就是要让台湾的种子在这片土地绵延传承。
And you also want to influence others, say that you can also come like me. See, every year we can give certain portion of our
离别时，旦昌伯盛情邀约，下次要一起来吃团圆饭。1粒米蕴藏着无私的爱，用真诚来做灌溉，辗转无量，生生不息。
And then let us see back. how
活下来真的是
we go
幸
back to
运
the，
但也
photos
得
of
承受着
yeah,
少时
this
亲人
is
的
the
悲痛。
family
在
that
这个
I
小村
mentioned
落里，
earlier,
就有
the father.
400人上身，代表着数
This
百
is
个
another
家庭的
village
破
very
碎，
near to
1年的时
the
间，
seaside.
伤口来不及愈合。
Whenever he said, whenever it's a rainy day, because at that time it's a rainy season.
只要简单的一句问话，就能够触动妈妈阿丹的心。在5月2号风灾那一天，她失去了5个小孩，最小的是对双胞胎，只有1岁6个月。
She lost her baby, twins. You see? And she lost her twins baby. And this is left after the disaster. She has only 2 sons.
走入一间茅草屋，就是一个悲惨的故事。灾难的痕迹不在眼前，而是在心中。
So whenever it's rain, I will feel very scared. And I will repeat. I will memorize what happened.
就在我
So as you can see, that's why eventually I want to end my sharing here again with this sorry. I'm sorry that today I didn't share the story of the cash forward. But anyway, yeah, this is just to show the photos of how we were so. This is the first time we took nearly 2 to 3 months. We distributed to the 7 families ourselves. We did not pass all the seats to the government, even though they were so moved, all the police, all the army. But I'm sorry, we still not trust them. We got to. With the local volunteers, you can see those local volunteers and those volunteers from Malaysia, especially from Malaysia and from Thailand, you see, the nearby countries. Every day we have 8 teams moving to the villages, and then we make sure that the villagers and all them, they transfer all the paddy seeds to the temples in the village. And then we do the distribution ourselves. These are the very touching story. I'm not going to share, but what I'm trying to show you, because of the time, I want to show you this photo again. This photo was taken in 2011. After 2 or 3 years later, 3 years? Yeah, 3 years, 4 years. You can see these are the local volunteers. They are not, I would say, of course, they were affected by the disaster relief, but at the same time, they become like you and me. You see, of course, nowadays Myanmar is much more than that. But this is what I'm trying to say. We want to make this thing happen. It becomes sustainable. And how we are doing this, because we always emphasizing how we can do it in a harmonious way. Because our ultimate goal is not to relieve the body only. We want to relieve the soul, the mind, the heart, and even making them the same as us. And this photo I must show you before I ended. I really want to end up my presentation. This during the relief of the seeds, the distribution of the seeds, we always remember what Master tell us. We must transform everybody become Bodhisattva. Even though the farmers, they do not have money, but they still have some rice. And then they say they want to contribute rice. They want to participate in the bamboo coin bank program, just like Master 50 years ago started her mission, right? They want to follow. This is the way. You can see the difference. You see, they are at the particular moment of time. They just like Master. They just like Master 50 years ago, and they just like the 30 housewife, 50 years ago. You see, right? And everybody over here is just like Masters. So this is a very beautiful photos. I always imagine 50 years ago when Master, her alone, taking the bamboo bank, give to the 30 housewife in front of her, But today, we as a follower of Master, we become the hands of her. 500 hands, 5,000 hands of Master Cheng. We are here. We have more than 50 pairs of hands. We have 500, even more, and we are helping. This is the way we are doing that. And I won't tell the story, but this person, I want to introduce you to you. U Ting Tun. Now, Brother U Ting Tun. U is meant Mr. Brother Ting Tun. You know, you just imagine 10 years ago, he is a victim. He was a victim, receiving our seeds, our rice, our seeds. And he practicing the same bamboo coin sharing. And today, you can see, I feel very touched by him, because he has a lot of touching story. I don't want I have no time to share. But this is the way that from the photo that he was sitting here, and today he is standing there to share what we are doing in our Tzu Chi world, and he's become our brother, the same as me and you, right? This is the thing, right? And it always motivates me to saying that no matter how difficult we are as a relief team or whatever, when we are able to imagine 500, even 1,000 bodhisattvas, just like the paddy seeds growing in that country, now then it means that we have already done our work. It's the same thing like India today. We not even have more than one brother. I mean, what do you call the certified commissioner in India. But we have been doing many things. Today is a really total different international relief of 2.0 version 2.0. So with this photo, I want to end my sharing for today. Thank you very much, and I hope that my very poor English can convey the kind of my real heart and my gratitude to our Master Cheng. He really gave me a very wonderful life experience, which really enlightened me in certain part. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone, especially to Brother Jiren. So moved that I'm here. Your sharing just now very touching, and you are giving us share with us the power of cross-border cooperation for the international relief. So I believe this is not the last time you share on this section. And actually, I hope that you're going to have a third round to share with us. Yeah, to be honest, I also want to continue to listen your sharing. But anyway, to be honest, very interesting and it's very touching. And because yourself personally experiences such, very difficulties, a journey through this international relief. So it's very important because for your witnesses, what you saw in the past, and you are give us the true story, which is quite benefiting us. So I hope that you're going to share for another time. But anyway, due to the time, and you are sharing about the international relief for the charity work mission. And today is our honor to invite our Malaysian Master DeJie, where she is going to share what the local Tzu Chi charitable mission have done in local communities in Hualien, in Taiwan, especially in Taiwan. So now I pass the time to our Master DeJie so that she can share. Anyway, let me show her slide first. Yeah, okay. So we start. Okay, thank you.
上人, brother and sister, good morning. I am Master DeJie. I am grateful to have a chance to share with all of you. My sharing topic is about a spirit abundance. His name is Cheng Jing. He is 21 years old. He's still on third year in college education. He is a Tzu Chi care recipient. Wei has a physically disabled, but his mind is very healthy because his grandma's hearty character and selfless dedication have brightened Wei life. He wondered how much longer he will live. He lives each day as if it were his last. That's one Jing's affiliation. Master say, we cannot determine the length of life, but you can grasp the wealth of life. Wei Wei was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy not long after he was born. His forelimbs and drum suffer from severe weakness and his spine is badly mishapen. His distorted spine compresses his organs, which affects the ability of his heart and lungs to function normally. So he requires a ventilator when he sleeps at night just to stabilize his breathing. He can't take care of himself and so he must depend on his grandma for his daily needs. His hands have started to deform. The deformity of his fingers and wrists intensified with time. He was still able to write with a pen and eat with a spoon before high school. But after that, he had to use a computer to take the place of handwriting. So it is a big challenge for his schoolwork. When he was a child, his grandma teach him proper concept. So his mind is positive and creates self-confidence to face and transcend physically challenges with optimistic attitude and also suffer from physical pain. He has learned how to better live in peace with disease. That's one Jing's operation. Master say nothing is impossible with confidence, perseverance, and courage. Wei Wei, now a sunny, upbeat college student, hasn't always been that way. For a time in elementary school, he felt grooming and inferior. His grandma taught him to smile at everyone, whether they were his teachers and classmates. Fortunately, Wei Wei heeded her advice and started to smile more, which gradually changed him from the inside and turned him into the optimistic, cheerful person. Bodhisattva, just like Bodhisattva from Africa, they listen Master's Dharma and take Dharma into their heart. Even if their lives are very difficult, they are willing to do Tzu Chi work. Master said that if we can put the Dharma into action, then we can fulfill our life. Wei Wei was in the hospital frequently when he was a child due to the weak immune system. His grandma had to take care of him at the hospital and run the household at the same time. His feeling for his grandma, he did his best to be a good patient. He endured all the necessary treatment and took all his medication without complaint so that he could recover as soon as possible. Due to his frequent visits to hospital, his grandma to pay huge medical fees and assistive device. His grandma loved Wei Wei, so she bought an electric wheelchair for him. Even with a subsidy, she still need to pay the wheelchair, so could not afford to pay for it all at once. So she had to pay it off in installment over time. To make the payment, she go out every morning at 2:30 and went to sell the breakfast to students. She slept less than 5 hours a day. What stands out in Wei Wei memory the most is the happy sparkle in his grandma's eye when he first learned to use the power wheelchair, as if he had suddenly received a pair of legs. I thinking about Master is getting old. Master out all her strength to give a talk for the sake of disciple wisdom life. As long as disciples take it in and live it out, this gives her great strength in life. Wei Wei watches his diet and tries to keep his weight under 30 kilograms. He won't become too heavy and make it more difficult for his grandma to move him. He is deeply grateful to her for devoting almost all of time to tending to his needs and for giving him such excellent care. so he wants to make her job as easy as possible. Her grandma is getting old. Due to ease her burden and prevent her from worrying, he worked hard to become more independent. He successfully got into a university in 2020. He won the Presidential Education Award and obtained 6 professional licenses. He gives talk whenever he can and applies to institutions and business for scholarship. He is determined to lighten his grandma's burden. However he can, her grandma has never shed a tear over her own life and hasn't had an easy life herself, but she cried thinking of his care for her. Master said that love can ease people's heart, and grandson's heart is filled with the love of grandma and grandfather. Just like Syria has been in civil war for a long time, and hatred has been generated deeply into the hearts of the children. This is because the love the Tzu Chi volunteers has resolved the hatred and they know how to love others. The many people who extend a helping hand to Wei Wei throughout his years as a student. It was this type of guidance and encouragement for teachers along the way that sparked Wei Wei's love of learning. They inspire him to study hard and discover his purpose in life. And her grandma's optimistic attitude too greatly affected him. As his body became more and more serious, he never gave up and learned to solve the problem by himself without complaint. Wei Wei's life story touched me deeply. I am very grateful that my parents worked tirelessly to rest me out, so I can grow in good health and in peace. Master said, we use our body to do good deeds to help people in need. This is a filial priority. Wei Wei works hard for his life and has courage to face physical challenges. He is the fighter of life. He shares his life with others and gives people positive energy. This is the filial priority. Master said that everybody is a lively sutra. Through Wei Wei life story, I learned to face a transcend problems with positive and optimistic attitude. Just like Jing affiliation, if we repay it joyfully, we get a discount. If we are unwary repay them, we will accumulate interest. His grandma's perseverance and resilience, and what I admire most about her, they're taking care of each other. Grandma's proper thinking, never give up. This spring grows deeply into Wei Wei's heart. So Wei Wei has a proper thinking and optimistic attitude with grandma's love, so he can face his difficulty and achieve his dream. He hoped that the deterioration of his body will slow down so that he can finish college, publish a book of his own, give a TED talk, and establish a marketing studio at home. His motto is follow your own path and make your life worthwhile. Master say, life is impermanent. We need to seek the times to help people in need. Thus, we have a variable of life. Through giving talks and use the Facebook to share his life story, hoping his story will encourage everyone not to give up easily on themselves and to move and inspire others and bring some warmth to society. That is a life of value. When Tzu Chi entered the Wei Wei's life, a group of Tzu Chi volunteers and social workers visit Wei Wei at his home to assist his needs. Tzu Chi volunteer decided to buy a color printer and help install the printer for him and taught him how to use it. The volunteer also discovered the seat of his wheelchair was badly worn. Tzu Chi replaced new seats and installed a backup sensor in his wheelchair so he could travel more safely in his wheelchair. Tzu Chi volunteer visited his school and found that his caregiver needed a bag to give him take off and put on his pants in a bathroom. So they bought a folding bed for him. When he was a child, his grandma taught him to be independent. It turned out Tzu Chi offered to help his school fees and transportation costs because he had found sponsors from the business community to cover those expenses. He gives talks whenever he can and applies to institutions for scholarship. We will encounter a lot of difficulties and challenges in our lives. We must be brave enough to face and solve them. This way, we can escape from danger. We can live in safety and peace. We will say that the more he lies, the more he gains. I remember Master said that I won't be very grateful when I can wake up every day and I can talk to my disciple. I am grateful all the time. We always encounter lots of difficulty in our life. I remember my job was in the kitchen a few weeks ago. One day, I prepared 3 baskets of long beans for lunch. A master was talking to me. The quantity of long beans was not enough. I need to cook the long beans several times to prevent the long beans from looking sad. I cooked them and then pressed them on the plate. Then I found that 3 baskets of long beans are not enough for lunch. I have a conversation with senior master. She asked me, do you have other ingredients together with long beans? I replied, yes, some carrots. I showed the carrots and long beans to her. She said it is not enough. You can add some fresh oyster mushrooms. Then I take 2 plates of oyster mushroom to volunteer to help me cut it. I continue to cook. The preparation is enough for lunch. I'm very happy that I successfully finished this dish. I understood and learned how to measure the ingredients for cooking. My lack of experience encounter food quantity is not enough at the same time. Master teaching that when volunteers came back, Master said, we must enough food to volunteer. I always put this work into my heart. That time, I'm sincerely to face and do it. And also grateful senior master and volunteer help me, so I can successfully finish the job. 在化成一品的第1章将入显道 with a settled mind, our spiritual aspirations will be proper. Master said the road in this world runs to the wilderness and is filled with the danger and difficulties. How can we talk this road successfully? Furthermore, not only must we work it ourselves, work it safely and steadily, we must mobilize others to work it with us to go in this proper direction. So our minds must be settled, our spiritual aspirations proper. What can we to do have a settled minds and proper spiritual aspirations? We must uphold precepts, guide against wrong and stops evil. Now let's watch this short video clip.
大家好，我是陈景薇。我不知道我自己还能活多久，这是真的，因为我是脊髓性肌肉萎缩症的患者，脊椎侧弯严重，身体器官长期以来都受到压迫，心肺功能及身体都很虚弱。我的学长也是肌肉萎缩症的患者，比我早1年进到系上，但进到系上没多久就过世了。而我说真的，我真的不知道我还能活多久。我是南洋技术学院数位行销系的学生，大家看得出来我不能自己走路，平常我还要阿嬷抱着我上下车、上下轮椅、用餐、换洗，但这还不够糟，我无法享受富康巴士的社会福利，因为在宜兰县，这只能接送病患。 不能接送上下学，我怎么办呢？或许你们或许会问我，我悲惨吗？我会不会就这样放弃了我的人生呢？不，我想和大家说，我不会。写作业手不方便没关系，我想办法改成手机打字，改成口述电脑听打辨字来交作业。我努力的克服困难，拿到了会计资讯丙级电脑软体应用乙丙级证照。我用演讲，用募款，用奖学金，我度过了我大一的第一个学年，而且是全班成绩的第1名。我讲这个不是我骄傲，而是我想和大家说，我都这样了，我很努力，因为我不知道我还能活多久，所以我想把我的每一天都活得很精彩。在2016年的10月26日，我在脸书创立的伟伟是我哦的粉丝团，开始分享自己生活点滴，鼓励大家不要因为挫折就放弃。很多人也和我一起分享，一起打气，一起加油。也要感谢每个帮助我的人，我的同学、好友，我的家人，你们都是我的贵人，我要感谢你们。而我还要和大家说，我真的不知道我还能活多久，但是我很努力的活着，让自己的每一天都活得很精彩，活出我自己，活出我的生命生活。我会继续努力朝梦想前进，持续透过自身影响力，我希望能将这正向能量传递下去。我觉得最大的就是正能量，因为像我第一次就是接触到就是师父师父还有社工哥哥姐姐们，就是第一次接触，我就觉得我没有什么就是没有陌生的感觉，就是没有很有距离。然后社工姐姐跟哥哥们就是看到我就会先关心我的生活状况或者是学习状况，就觉得大家都是一家人。然后现在我们聚在一起，就觉得就是一个大家庭，然后也觉得很感恩，有遇到很好棒的师父师父社工姐姐哥哥们，所以很感恩。到我的生命虽然很辛苦很努力的时候，都要像哥哥们一样，要努力自己。
那其实很开心。After viewing the video, I wish all of you, we can make good use our body given my parents to cultivate presence and wisdom. That's all my sharing for today. Thanks for listening.
Okay. All right. Thank you for our Master DeJie share with us the story about Wei Wei. Through his story, actually, I have learned there's a saying: when there's a will, there's a strength. 有愿就有力. So this is what I can find the role model of Wei Wei. So anyway, thank you for your time, and I think I pass it over to Sister Xiaoqun to end the section sharing. Thank you.
Thank you.
感恩德皇师父，感恩德杰师父，感恩 Master DeHuang for the feedback on BroJi, and we agree. Yeah, definitely BroJi. We need. We hope BroJi can complete the story, so there will be version 3. And deepest gratitude to Master DeJie for sharing the positive story of Wei Wei. Yeah, wow, it's truly very emotional. Great reminder also from Master DeJie as a Master's disciple to live out Master's teaching in our daily life, so we could comfort Master, give Master the great strength. Here in the video, I think we also put here, here where we keep repeating, he's not sure how long more we could live. Yet we could see that he lived his life to the fullest, sharing the positive mindset with everyone as a living bodhisattva, benefiting everyone while he's still carrying this physical sickness. And we are very grateful to Brother Jiren for sharing again on the second time these great insights into international charity mission, relief mission from 1.0 to 2.0. It seems Brother has yet to truly start. So we hope to hear more from Brother's experiences and vast experiences. Thank you, brothers and sisters who are working behind the scene. Sister Elizabeth, who draw the weekly poster, and also the sharers, the drawing of the sharers, and Sister Tzu Chi for the wonderful weekly summary. Sister Lily as the facilitator, and In Hong, the AV, and Sister Epi and Sister Sharon for the wonderful summary at the chat. Very, very grateful, as well as everyone's contribution. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for your presence and your support. We hope that each of us could sustain this Dharma journey